You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities, and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
At dollarseed.com, all of our seeds are only $1 a pack. And we have online resources that teach you all about the rewarding hobby of growing your own plants, flowers, herbs, and vegetables. Imagine the joy you'll feel when your children actually help you harvest your first garden crop, or the pride of knowing you'll never need a florist again. Visit dollarseed.com and grow a little magic of your own for just $1. Dollarseed.com. What could be healthier?
Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another incredible episode of Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio, and I'm your host, Deanie. We have a very special guest for you guys, so you definitely want to stick around for that. And as a matter of fact, text your buddies, family members, or even share it on social media right now and let them know that we are about to dive deep into another interview. Before I bring my guest on, I do want to say you have to meet the challenges. You're like, what are you talking about, Deanie? Check it out. When you run from challenges, you are rewarded only with excuses and regrets, a pocket full of regrets. By contrast, when you seek out and confront those challenges, you are rewarded with success and accomplishment. And the sooner you confront your challenges, the more the positive outcome will be. It will always be an effort. That's the essential nature of challenge. But the longer you put it off, the more you run from it, the worse the necessary effort will eventually be. So stand up, step forward, and walk out to meet your challenges. Put yourself in a position of strength. Put yourself in a position where you can gain from your own efforts. Be aggressive at meeting challenges, and you'll make the most of them. That's a whole lot better than hiding from them and letting them drain you. What challenge can you face head on and conquer today? Well, today's almost over. What about tomorrow? Get prepared for that, right? It's out there, and when you go out to meet it, you'll be moving yourself forward. Take that from me, Coach Deanie. That is my word, and word is bond.
Have you struggled budgeting your finances? Don't worry, you're not alone. HumbledBudget.com, that's HumbledBudget.com, is the help and resource you've been searching for. HumbledBudget.com is a personal finance and educational website with a great variety of topics when it comes to budgeting, taxes, investing, and the popular topic of FIRE, financial independence, retire early. HumbledBudget.com has a goal, and that's to help you reach your financial dreams, no matter what your goals are when it comes to finances. It doesn't matter where you start, where you come from, or where you are right now. HumbledBudget.com can help. What are you waiting for? Take that first step to the financial life you've dreamed of and go to HumbledBudget.com. That's HumbledBudget. HumbledBudget.com.
All right. Again, welcome to the show. You're listening to VRL. That's Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio. And I'm your host, Deanie. Our interviews are designed to go beyond music, news, books, art, acting, films, technology, education, entrepreneurship, entertainment, and sometimes even that thing that we call the ego. Our interviews are designed to go behind the scenes and into the minds of these incredible human beings, the ones who are out there giving it their all for me, for you, and for the world. Welcome, guys, to our special interview with Justin Romero, a seasoned traveler and the mastermind behind Pinnacle Global Travel. With his extensive experience and dedication to a personalized service, Justin has created a platform for travelers to embark on unforgettable journeys. So join us as we dive into his inspiring journey and gain valuable insights into the world of travel. All right, Justin, welcome to our show. How's it going?
Hey, Deanie, how you doing today, my man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Awesome. Glad to be here on the show, my man. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. You have a great radio voice.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's late in the day, so hopefully my voice stays pretty decent. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Justin, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today. Your passion for travel and commitment to providing exceptional experiences through your company, Pinnacle Global Travel, is truly remarkable. Before we get into your why and your how, I want to know the who. So can you give us a little bit about your background before we explore what initially sparked your love for traveling?
Yeah, most definitely. So again, Justin Romero. I've been around the travel industry for about 20 years, and I myself actually love to travel. You know, I've been around the world to certain countries, and you know, I was traveling in my mid-20s, and I just love seeing different places. You know, because there's so much out there that we can experience, but some of us may not have the means or the time to get out there. But myself, man, it's just a whole different atmosphere out there when you really look into it. And it got me started to thinking to myself, hey, I want to share my experiences with other people, but I know, and we'll kind of dive into this a little bit more, Deanie, but I noticed that there was kind of missing a certain communication of details when people travel, okay? So within the last couple of years, that's what made me want to start Pinnacle Global Travel, to be that voice to the clients that want to go on these, you know, journeys, and let me be the communicator for them. So that's kind of a quick little background got me into this.
Absolutely. So before we, you know, dive even deeper, what has been one of your most, favorite travel experience so far, and what kind of made it so special?
So definitely. So I'm gonna say one of my most recent travel experiences, I would say, was this past November. I was able to go to Tahiti, to the Bora Bora area, and that had always been on my bucket list to go to. And you know, I was grateful to be able to go out there and experience that. And what you see in the pictures, because if you see out Bora Bora in the water and the islands and the overwater bungalows, it blows your mind when you see it actually on the videos and on pictures. But Deanie, I'm telling you, my man, once you've been there and in person and experienced that, it blows your mind. You never would ever think that water could be that crystal clear. So that's one of my, I want to say, bucket list items I was able to accomplish, and it's probably been one of the best trips I've had so far.
Wow. How long did you stay out there?
Stayed out for about a week. We went out there in November, and you know, they have different months. You know, they have shoulder months and of course the busy season. So you know, we just timed it at a good time where, you know, rates are pretty decent. And, you know, even though, you know, Bora Bora to be a very expensive place to go, there are deals to get you there in order for you to go and enjoy that trip. But man, it was a blessing of a lifetime.
Yeah. So my family and I, when I say my family, it's my family, my wife and kids, my brother, his wife and his kids, sister, her husband and kids, and then my mom and dad. Every year we go on this large family trip to a different destination in the U.S. And, you know, we have to schedule or pick attractions, you know, places to stop, to eat, whatever, plan the whole trip. And it was my turn this year. Man, you talking about a pain, you know, trying to find things to do for every age group and, you know, go through those different prompts. And, all right, we can eat here, you know, we can't eat here. I was like, yo, I just wish there was some kind of travel agent who can just do this for me, and I won't have to rack my brain doing it, because I've never been here. I don't know what to pick. What has been your experience on a professional level with tailoring, like, trips to, I guess, tailoring it to the profile of a family, you know, like my family?
Definitely, no, Deanie. And you're right. It does take a lot of, you know, planning and practicing of where you want to do, what you want to go, restaurants, attractions, all that fun stuff. The biggest thing I've taken when I've had my experience in this and helping a family or just a couple, whoever wants to go anywhere, we always wanted to say, what is the main destination you want to see? Where is a central point where you want to be at, right? Once a family says, hey, we want to go to Universal Studios, we want to go to Disney World, whatever the case may be, then we have a basis where I can go and start working backwards on. So what I do is I take that central focus. So let's say, Deanie, let's just say you and your family want to go to Disney World, right? Let's say you want to go to the Disney World out in Florida. So we make sure we nail down where you want to be, and also we got to nail down what date you want to go to. Once we can nail those down, then I go and say, okay, how old are your children? You know, what are we looking to do out there? Do you want to do all the attractions? Do you want to go to certain hotels that offer more of a, you know, kid experience? Do you want to do a little bit more of a mixture kid and adult friendly resort? There's a lot of questions that I usually ask the clients, because they're looking for a great experience for the family, right? There's no one family that has the same experience, right? And then, of course, even children want to experience that to a certain level, but you have to understand, what do they really want to do? Do they want to have breakfast with Mickey Mouse? Do they want to see Pluto? You know, just different things like that. In the travel industry, you have to ask a lot of questions. You have to have a basis, and you have to have a starting point, okay? I'll give you another quick example. There's some clients I'm working with where, I don't know if you've ever been to Europe yourself, Deanie, but going to Europe, that's a little bit more of a, you know, it can be a little bit complicated with an itinerary and everything, especially with a family trying to get together or like a group, right? So with that, they want to go on a cruise out there. So what I try to do is say, okay, where would you like to cruise from? Would you want to cruise from Italy, Barcelona, from France, whatever the case is? Again, going back to what we were discussing about that centralized point, where do we want to start at? You know, do you want to stay in Rome a few days? So I really dig into the minute details to figure out what do we want to do in the end. See, Deanie, my personal experience before with, even when I would book travel through other travel agencies, you know, when I was a little bit younger, I didn't always get the details or maybe what I wanted when I booked those travels. So that's one reason why I became a travel agent myself, to give people those options and understand, what are we trying to do? What do we want to accomplish? How can we make your vacation the best one out there? If that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it does. Wow. All right. So, as an entrepreneur in the travel industry, what challenges do you face while you were building your company, Pinnacle Global Travel?
Yeah, I would say, Deanie, the biggest thing is going to be competition. As you can imagine, my man, there's a ton of travel agencies out there, right? The biggest competition as travel agents in particular is you're going to look at like the big guys like Expedia, Travelocity, all the online big travel guys, right? There are always pros and cons to everything. And when, you know, you're looking for a good travel agent, you want to make sure that person is, number one, understanding of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go. Do they have details? Do they have an understanding of what we're trying to accomplish at that area? You know, are they dealing with the best price possible? So those are going to be some factors when deciding, but I'm going to say the biggest thing will be definitely competition. And, you know, there's a lot of people that would say, hey, Justin, you know, I'm going on, you know, one of these big websites that, you know, give me some good pricing. There's always a catch-22 with that, Deanie. You know, I don't ever like to talk bad about anybody, no competition whatsoever, but my personal experience with that specific competition is that you're not always going to get what you buy, because I personally went through something like that where I booked in one of these specific agencies, and my hotel was not under my name, even though I paid for it. And the problem is that when you book through one of these agencies, okay, these online agencies, you're not going to be notified if something changes, because they're going to be notified through the supplier, and that won't get thrown over to you. Does that make sense? Because that happened to me a couple times, and that's where you get the communication gap. That's where I said, you know what? Being a travel agent, you need to definitely make sure that your clients understand where they're going. If there's any changes whatsoever, you want to relay that to them as soon as possible. You know, I always keep my line of communication open to everyone. So I would say that's one of the biggest aspects, Deanie, of the competition. So that's going to be the main thing, because there's millions of travel agents, and of course the big boys out there, they're going to take a piece of the pie. You got to figure out how you can, number one, make that customer service more catered towards the client. So that's where I kind of go with that.
Absolutely. We often hear about hidden gems in different destinations. Could you reveal one of your favorite lesser-known travel spots that you highly recommend?
I'm actually going to say I personally love history, so I'm going to actually give you two of them. I'm going to say Pompeii in Naples, Italy, okay, and also Athens, Greece. So those have been one of my two favorite areas I've been to. I'm a student of history, so I love, seeing Pompeii and, how Mount Vesuvius, erupted and covered the city, and you see how intact it still looks after all these years. When we did a tour out there, back in 2019, I was just very impressed with what I saw out there, just the culture and the scenery. And then two, when we went over to the Athens part, Athens, Greece, man, just seeing the Parthenon up there and taking the tour at the very top, it gives you a new respect on just, my God, how people could, build something like that so far back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're standing up there on the hill, overlooking everything, just like taking it in, you feel very blessed, my man. It's a very humbling experience.
Absolutely. Justin, can you share with us an example of one of your unique itineraries that you've curated?
Yeah, I'm going to say one of the most unique I've done is that, I had a client that wanted to, I'm going to go back to the Europe example. He had a family, he had a group of like 10 people. And he was trying to find a cruise and also find out what port to go to. He wanted to explore Italy and go through all the different areas. So we really had to sit down and say, okay, what we want to do first is that we want to make sure, are we going to do a scheduled tour every day that you're in a different city, or do you want to do that on your own? Because some people are a little bit, hey, just get me there and I'll do my own tour, right? So when I had to do the itinerary for them, I made sure that I said, okay, day one, day two, we're going to be doing this and doing that. Take some time for traveling. Once we get there, do we want to do a cruise first? Do we want to do a cruise after you stay? And then on top of that, the clients want to go ahead and take, they want to fly to different parts. They want to say, hey, if I go to the port of Civitavecchia in Italy, once we get off the boat, I want to fly over to, let's say, Venice, or fly a couple of days into France. So I'm going to say that's probably one of the most unique itineraries I had to deal with, because you have to deal with certain suppliers that can really build that itinerary out and really list exactly what the client wants to do. And where it gets a little hazy, of course, is when they say, hey, I want to do my own touring, but yet, let's get these three other people. They can go on the scheduled tour, whatever the case is. So there's a lot of puzzle pieces you really got to stay focused on and stay on top of. So I would say those probably one of my more complicated itineraries I helped the client with.
Wow, that's pretty dope. So how do you stay up to date with the latest travel trends and emerging destinations?
The suppliers that I work with, man, they send me tons of emails. I do a lot of research, around just Googling, CNN to see what's going on in the world today. I have updates that come to me, again, through various suppliers saying, hey, this is what's going on in this part of the world. Or, I have on my website, if you go, it kind of gives you an update on the level of travel. What's the word I'm looking for? Kind of the dangerous part of what parts of the world to kind of be careful of to travel to. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but recently, even a very, very good destination that even I still haven't been to, which I want to go check out, was Dominican Republic. Now, Deanie, I don't know if you've been there or not, but for the majority of clients or people listening who have actually been there, they actually raised their threat level up a little bit higher. I think it was a level 2 or level 3.
Gee.
And you wouldn't think that, because that's a huge destination for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you got to keep on top of that, because if I got a client saying, hey, I want to go to, Dreams Resort up in Dominican Republic, I'm going to be like, hey, you may want to watch out for this level threat. Even though you're within the resort area, you want to be careful not to venture outside of that, into the city. And same thing could be said about Mexico. I don't know if you've seen all the violence and everything going on through Mexico. That's a big red flag to me. If the client wants to go out there, I'm okay with it, but I always let them know you got to really watch yourself out there, because things are getting bad out there. Don't let it be too much of a deterrent, but you just really got to watch yourself and be careful.
Absolutely. Now, this is just a question that I want to know, personally. Why don't the government hire travel agents? Because I solely believe that you guys sometimes are responsible for the flow of tourism, which is money for cities and towns that kind of rely on that stuff. Why don't the government partner with travel agents?
Dean, that's a fantastic question. I really wish I could tell you the answer to that. That's something that's a very unique question. I've always wondered myself too. Who knows? Maybe it's a monopoly for some certain agencies or governments to do their own thing, or they don't really care. Who knows? I really couldn't tell you. I think it'd be more advantageous, to be honest, like you said. We try to be there and try to help out the best way we can, and if it's within the county or within the city. But that's a fantastic question, Deanie. I really couldn't say. I really don't know.
Yes, sir. All right, so back to the company, Pinnacle Global Travel. How can our listeners sign up with you, connect with you, get some consultation, or even visit your website?
Yes, sir. So definitely. So what they can do is that they can visit www.pinnacleglobaltravel.com. And actually, when the website pops up, you're going to see like a nice little video, try to make it a little spunky on the site. There's going to be a contact page right there. And actually, every page you go to, there's a contact us page on there. You can go and contact me via that part of it. You can also email me at info@pinnacleglobaltravel.com. And also my phone number is on the website too. So there's multiple ways to contact me. And like I said, I always try to make myself available. So anybody that wants to go there and check it out, I have, there's travel specials I put on there. I go ahead and put some information on there about us, about the company a little bit. We do everything, Deanie. I can take you anywhere in the world you want to go. I'm not stuck to cruises or resorts. You want to do itineraries, anything and everything, my man. The world is your destination.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm a history guy too, so I'm gonna have to get with you and go to Egypt.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think you would be the guy to curate that for me. So yeah, I know you mentioned that competition is thick. What advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs in the travel industry who want to make a positive impact and create meaningful experiences?
I would say just do your research. Ask yourself, what is it that makes you passionate about being in the travel industry? Don't let the competition, don't let the naysayers pretty much block you from getting to a passion that you want to do. There's a lot of companies out there that offer hosting travel services, like an umbrella that you can get with and get under. Just make sure that, the company or whoever you're with, because it can be I'll be honest with you, it can be a little pricey to go out on your own sometimes. There's some companies that might charge you $5,000 to $8,000 just to get started, where you can pretty much possibly get with a hosting company that will charge you, $90 or $100 a month, depending if it's a pretty legit company or not. But aspiring entrepreneurs in this business, man, they just got to have a passion for what they want to do. And you really got to stay focused. You really got to put yourself out there and just be willing to help anybody and let them know that you're a travel agent. This is one thing that I don't know if people realize this or not. When you go to one of the big boys, the online travel agencies, right? The thing is that you're paying them a commission whether you know it or not. So you're paying them a commission based on you having to do all the work. Whereas going to a travel agent, there's no charge to that. At least for the majority, depending on who you deal with. But for myself, I don't charge for helping somebody or giving someone advice or, whatever the case is. I'm getting my cut from the actual suppliers. But always keep that in mind that if you're a client going to one of those guys, those big boys, you're doing all the work yourself, and you're still going to be paying them a commission. And it's kind of like, what? And Deanie, like you said, my man, if you want to go somewhere like Egypt, or another client wants to do a heavy itinerary somewhere in Europe, man, I'm not going to lie to you, my man, that gets complicated. And if you're trying to do that on your own, just be careful. That's the best advice I can give you. Matter of fact, I'm going to take that back. Don't do it. Call me. Let me help you. Because I don't want you going out there, and next thing you know, you go to a hotel or resort, you put your name in, they're like, hey, wait a minute, I booked this online. Why isn't my record showing I have it here? It happened to me at that, we were talking about earlier. It happened to me at a hotel, and I couldn't believe it. So thankfully, I stopped that and was able to go to another supplier to get that squared away. But yeah, that would be my biggest takeaway from that.
Absolutely. And that's big of you, Justin, to want to, help someone steer at least, the first part of their entrepreneurship in this industry. That's really big of you, Justin.
No, most definitely, Deanie, because we have to, we work very hard for our money, man. I always tell people, you got to get away, because we're doing the 8 to 5 grind every day or whatever lifestyle we're doing consistently just to get out. I told people, some people have never been out of the United States, and I'm just like, you got to go see the rest of the world. It's a beautiful place. There's history, Egypt, Italy, Greece, wherever you want to go, you got to make it happen, my man.
That's absolutely right. One final question for you. Are there any particular destinations on your bucket list that you haven't had a chance to explore yet?
Actually, there is. Actually, the one you just mentioned was Egypt. Is one of them I definitely want to go to. I'm going to say the Maldives is on my bucket list, and also Australia. So those big three are on my bucket list.
Yes, sir. Nice places, nice places. Oh, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Traveling often involves trying new cuisines. I know some places you have to because it's like a slap in the face when you don't taste the food or take what's offered to you. Have there been any interesting dishes that you've tried?
So I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna say there's one spot I went to in Rome when we were out there. I can't remember the name of the spot on top of my head, but I know it was right below me where I was staying. They said it was the birthplace of the I think it was fettuccine alfredos, where they first ever made it. So when we went there to see how they make it in front of you and everything, because we take it for granted here in the States, like, hey, give me some chicken Alfredo, right? Mm-hmm. But over there, supposedly they said that's the birthplace of all that. That's one place I went to with my palate. I was like, okay, let me check this out. The coffee's very good out there. I don't know what it is about their espressos out there. So all those listening who are coffee drinkers, definitely get an espresso out there in the Rome, Italy area. So I would say that's probably one of the palates I've had out there that was pretty interesting. So.
Nice. All right. Well, Justin, thank you so much for being our special guest tonight. It was truly an honor having you on.
Indeed, I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too, Danny. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio Live. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab it from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, Spotify, Castbox, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, the app Podcast Addict, or over at our website, which again is onlyonemediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you like to request some music or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. That is V as in Victor. And here's my disclaimer: we are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, scratch all of that, because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Just kidding. On behalf of myself, Denny, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, at all social media sites, as well as Spreaker, YouTube. We always follow back. Okay, well, just remember to put yourself into everything that you do and never stop investing in yourself. Peace, love, grilled cheese, and talk with you later.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.